been a Rounding the Bases Extra Innings. Joel Goldberg, Aaron Zack. Hope you'll check out the audio version of the podcast on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast. Truly incredible story. You talked about the inspiration being a health issue with your brother-in-law. How often does he talk about being the central reason why all of this happened? I mean, all this success for the family doesn't happen without him. It might have happened in a different way. I don't know.
Yeah. He's an artist, and so he's passionate in doing what he loves to do. So in 2004, he decided he didn't want to be a part of the company any longer, and he's making paintings and following his dreams.
Which is beautiful, right? That's what it's all about. Okay, second question as we round the bases. I talked to you during the audio version of the podcast about influencers. When you got, and it doesn't even matter whether it's local or not, but when you have a Patrick Mahomes that enjoys your product, a Travis Kelce, on and on and on, obviously from an influential standpoint, that's a big deal. But what is a celebrity like that? They don't get your typical infrared sauna, right? I mean, they've got to have more bells and whistles, I would imagine. Is this like designing, like the nicest car or whatever it might be?
Believe it or not, these individuals chose the standard model. They could do whatever they want, but they did not. And so they like with Impulse, the product that they purchased is a great product as it is, and they just utilized it.
So I don't need to say who, but there have to be some people that want maybe some crazy things or something different. Like what can people do if their imagination runs wild?
So we have a custom team, and they're 100% dedicated with industrial designers to build whatever you can imagine. And so we've built some really, really cool things. In fact, in Saudi Arabia, where Ronaldo is playing, at the end of this month, we're shipping a custom sauna to Saudi Arabia, where Al Nassr football club is stationed. And that's really exciting for our company as well.
For Ronaldo or for everybody? I mean, with the amount of money
for the whole club, it just happens to be Ronaldo's the driving force behind it, but it's for the football club.
And whatever that costs, I don't need to know, but whatever that costs is pennies compared to what they're paying him.
100%.
Right? I mean,
and if as long as he stays, healthy, right, which is what we're a part of, if we can help, decrease recovery, things along those lines, then it's well worth it.
All right. Third question as we round the bases. I don't know how much you're doing this type of stuff anymore. You look like a guy that's in great shape, but Ironman competitions, all that, still doing it, or what? Where are you at with that?
For the sanity of my marriage, I am no longer doing Ironmans. So what I'm really into right now is lifting. I was always a cardio guy, and as I've gotten older, I've gotten more into lifting. I feel that I get my heart rate up there, and increasing strength's been fantastic. So I like to stack them from, using my sauna after as more of a recovery, but I like to do cardio 2 to 3 times a week and lift 3 times a week.
All right. No more Ironmans.
Not if I want to stay married.
Okay. Smart man, by the way. No more Ironmans for me either, but I never got there. I think it is Ironmans. It wouldn't be Iron Men. I don't know. Anyway.
It's Iron Man. You're right.
Yeah, whatever. Either way. Final question. Speaking of marriage and all of that, I mean, I'm always amazed at the people that can be in business with their spouses. Some can do it, some couldn't. And it's not, there's no judgment there. My wife and I would both say we couldn't do that. We just couldn't. And, we have a great marriage, but others can. I'm just curious what it's like to be able to have gone through this whole journey with Connie from the beginning, from the basement to now, and how fulfilling that has been.
It's been fantastic. And I'd like to share. So I met Connie at Procter & Gamble. So it's not as if it's a husband and wife going into business, because I think that's much more difficult. But at Procter & Gamble, I saw how talented she was, and I had the highest respect for her, before we were even dating or anything along those lines. So I knew how smart she was. So going into business with her really made sense, because I could trust her strengths and I knew what she would be good at, and she had trust in myself. And we've really been able to divide and conquer. Early on in our career, she was more sales focused, and I was kind of doing the innovation and operations and all that kind of stuff. I like to say I did everything Connie didn't want to do early on. And then as we've gotten bigger, Connie just focuses more on the influencers and partnerships, and I get to drive the ship.
Pretty cool stuff, and a great marriage and a great business partnership. And I can't wait to see where you guys are going with Sunlighten. I know you talked in the audio version of the podcast of what's all coming up a lot, and I know it'll continue to be a lot. So again, I want to encourage everybody to check out our Rounding the Bases episode wherever you get your podcast. Check out Sunlighten at sunlighten.com. Aaron, thanks again so much for spending time.
Thanks, Joel. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.